Oh my gosh, Matthew. I don't know if you already left. It's so funny that you say that because I just changed the thumbnail. And I was like, I wonder if somebody just saw me change that thumbnail. And I was like, oh, I don't think anybody's here. But then you said that you were here. I remember one day I was early to one of Rob's lives and he changed the thumbnail like 5 times. Go and play Xbox. Whew. Oh, snap. Zelda, how you been? It's been a minute. Right? How's it going? Yep, it's me. It's me. It's me. It's me on your screen. If you're watching me, then it's me on your screen. I'm doing well. How are you? Yeah, this, I don't know what this is. This is just Patrick being Patrick right here. Who art thou? Leave a message, please. I don't know who that is. So I was at work. Nice to see you too. I was at work and I was talking to somebody, and then somebody was waiting for them. And then I saw somebody else, and they were like, from that gym, I need to go. Yeah, how you doing? And somebody said something, and I looked back, and there was a thing that said, "What's the big idea?" But I'm getting big idea in like an Aquarius way, not like, "Hey, what's the big idea? What are you doing?" So I was like, "What is the big idea?" Because there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world. This Pisces season, so far. I wonder if that's Sun in Virgo. I wonder if that's. I've been seeing a lot of Sun in Virgo, and I'm like, why Sun in Virgo? I don't know. Anyway, I have the Science Tarot, the Idrisil Norse Divination cards, and the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators. Excuse me. And the Magical Dimensions Oracle cards and activators. 3 decks there. Well, the Science Tarot, yeah. First, I was going to use the Science Tarot and the Magical Dimension Oracle cards and activators because I was like, ooh, science and magic, why not? And then I saw the Norse Divination cards and I was like, I ain't use one of these in a minute. But yeah, what's the big idea? Like, what's the bigger picture? Like, not like what's the point? Not like what's it all for? Also, I got my glasses fixed. My mom did it. She was like, I have a kid at home. I can probably fix it. Lo and behold, she had the answers and she was there the whole time. How are we going to do this? You know what? I'm going to give this one more shuffle. I've already shuffled all of these. I think I'm just going to pull off the top. I'm going to pull 1 Idrisil, 2, 1 Idrisil, 2, excuse me, where's my brain? 2 Magical Dimension Oracle cards and activators, and then 4 of the Science Tarot. Oof. Oof. What the world? First, I was triggered because I'm like, is this Topsy? They'll say, autopsy at my autopsy. This reading is not sponsored. So the Yggdrasil divination card is air, healing, and medicine. We have adventure and the Ice Queen. Adventure is innocence, play, and discovery. Ice Queen is introspection, self-analysis, and fortitude. And then we have the Nine of Beakers, emergence, 14, tolerance of uncertainty, the Two of Burners, Bunsen burners, and the 10 of Bunsen burners, star nursery, and supernova. Now, if you've seen Bob's Burgers, then you know what Thomas Edison did to Topsy. But this is so weird because, like, none of the researchers have, like, they all have blindfolds on. How do any of them know what they're doing? And then here's this up here for seemingly no reason, completely unattended. But because it says tolerance of uncertainty, I'm like, I feel like you're at the hospital. Are you at work? You work at a hospital, right? Excuse me. Oh, I'm ready for bed. I haven't worked a full day in 4 days. Because it's tolerance of uncertainty, it feels like they're supposed to have blindfolds on. I'm going to read that one first. Well, tolerance, when it comes to, excuse me, when it comes to data, it feels like tolerance is the amount of incorrectness. Tolerance is the distance from the truth that tolerance is the maximum difference from the set value that something can be and it still be deemed correct. Right. So, like, let's say the answer is 2 with a tolerance of 0.5. So anything from 1.5 to 2.5 will be considered true or correct for that value of 2. So to have a tolerance of uncertainty, a tolerance of uncertainty feels like what can, like, be unknown, but this still ring. Like I said, I am. Is it really? Oh, there you go. Because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. What's also interesting is that we have, like, the only other cards on the table are burners, and so it's emergence, which looks like ants coming out of. Oh, it's an ant colony in the shape of an ant. Cool. Then we have the temperance card. Then we have star nursery and supernova. It's interesting that we get the 9 of beakers and then these 12 burners. And those are like the only tools we see here. We see 2 beakers and this 1 Bunsen burner. Now, this is something that I'm assuming is used to. Oh, bro. I don't even know if decant is the word that I want. I think decant is the word that I want, but it might not be. It's something that can be used to separate, but to separate sometimes for the point of purification, which is interesting because when I was shuffling the magical dimensions, the card of isolation came out, and then in reverse and face down, majestic eminence came out. And then a card almost came out, and that card was trust. So then that's almost reading very tolerance of uncertainty. To be in isolation, but to be asked to trust. And with the majestic eminence to be face down. Oh, I didn't read it. Let's read it. Let's see. Tolerance. Oh, wait, there's the supernova. A massive star in midlife generates tremendous energy through nuclear fusion, transforming hydrogen and helium into elements as heavy as iron. When its fuel burns away and its structure grows unstable, the star may finally explode, sending vast amounts of light and material into space. The heavier elements we know on Earth, metals like gold and silver, as well as elements critical to living things, are generated in this type of cataclysmic event, a supernova. All the heavier elements on Earth and in the universe are generated in these supremely powerful explosions. A human being delivers a lifetime's energy into the world, a lasting, fruitful gesture of a creative life, working that draws material from the world and returns it transformed. Work, sorry. A lasting, fruitful gesture of a creative life, work that draws material from the world and returns it transformed. This card marks the culmination of achievement where our efforts give back to the world something precious. Now, I instantly, metals like gold and silver, especially like after using the Water Known Alchemy cards, yeah. For gold to almost be what the magnum opus and silver, oh, that's sun and moon also. Gold is also like one of the few things that isn't worn down by antimony. But it's like there's this supernova that had to happen a gajillion miles away with enough force to send those materials across galaxies and everything for it to eventually at some point end up here. This almost star nursery and supernova. This is literally from the birth to the death of a star. And then this emergence and tolerance of uncertainty. This feels more like birth because it's like, no one is necessarily born with the answers type energy. Like whenever you start something new, there's always going to be a certain amount of uncertainty. Think air. I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. Valhalla. I think air is she's associated with healing, but I think she's a Valkyrie. She is the sixth in the fourth realm. Oh, I opened up the page to temperance. LOL. This is what I opened the book to. And then we have this 14 temperance tolerance of uncertainty. What's the big idea? I mean, I guess without reading anything, healing and medicine, to heal oneself and to be capable, to heal oneself and to develop a capacity to help heal others is the big idea. There's also this very Virgo hermit, more hermit than Virgo, the introspection and self analysis of the Ice Queen supports that healing, but adventure and discovery. It's more like the innocence and discovery of adventure because of the tolerance of uncertainty, because of emergence supports this. So the adventure is outer work, external, living life, being open, being curious. The Ice Queen is having a solid internal foundation. And then supporting that or under that, it's almost this like, what is the mark that you want to leave on the world? Or what is it that you want to do with your life? Like, what is something that you can do or give that will have a lasting impact? On one side, especially the star nursery supernova side of it is very that. Now this emergence is really like interesting to me. It's almost like the big idea is to make us better people. On one hand, it's to make us better people for ourselves and for one another. The one thing I see in this adventure card that I keep looking at is the key that she's holding behind her back on that gigantic key ring. Archangel of Healing came out a few times actually. Oh, Temperance is also associated with healing. Let's try to find her though. Here she is. Heirs of Valkyria. The Valkyries all have healing properties. They collect fallen warriors, reanimate them, and bring them to Valhalla for the festive afterlife. Heir's name refers to sparing a life and showing mercy. She is merciful, and around her the force of life gains strength. Like Fulla, everything grows and blossoms in her presence. Heir is also thought to be one of 9 maidens who sit at the knees of Menglod at the Healing Hill Lefjaberg, girl, I'm gonna butcher all this, which means medicine mountain. She is sure to have knowledge in healing and is mentioned as a doctor. If air is present in the spread, it indicates healing, either related to health or in the mental or even spiritual realms. It indicates growth and maturity. Fulla and air reinforce each other in the spread, and few things can deter their powers of healing, regeneration, and growth. The things that stick out to me the most is her name referring to sparing a life and showing mercy for one, but then also the comment, everything grows and blossoms in her presence. Yeah, she is merciful, and around her the force of life gains strength. The force of life gaining strength with the star nursery and the mergence being more so like born or birthing energies. And even the supernova, like when a star goes supernova, there's something that it returns to the universe to support life on other planets. Also, too, with that, if a star has a solar system like the sun, um, a star can be the giver of life, or at least a sustainer of life while it's alive. And then when it dies, it sustains others around it. So there's almost like this self sustaining, that energy of the hermit with the ice queen, that's in the introspection, self analysis, fortitude. But then there's also like a world, like there's the internal for self, and then there's the external. The internal feeling more like healing, the external feeling more like medicine. I mean, I guess you can give yourself medicine, but and then the adventure, of course, would be after the star goes supernova. And then everything kind of like spreads out into the rest of the universe. I'm still gonna read this card. Where are they? Where are the majors? Can somebody tell me where the majors are? Here they are. They're at the back of the book. So, tolerance of uncertainty. Three blindfolded people touch the same unknown object. See, there you go. This is what Holly was talking about. Three unknown people, three blind people touch the same unknown object. The first insists the object is a flexible brush. The second argues that it is snake-like, and the third asserts it as a stone pillar. Each thinks the other two ideas are preposterous and nonsensical in comparison to their own hands on experience. When the three finally remove their blindfolds, they are surprised to discover they were in agreement all along. They each describe different parts of the same elephant. This old tale portrays the limitations of perception. Our quest for knowledge must be tempered with a tolerance of uncertainty. Successful scientific study and human society both require patient discourse and a willingness to allow for our own limited interpretations. The temperance card reminds us to seek balance in our pursuits. In putting aside our absolutes, no matter how certain they appear, we opt for tolerance of others' experience to gain a better understanding of the world, our companions, and ourselves. But what about the experiment that's being run up here? Like they still don't explain why this is here. You know what I mean? Oh, so if we put emergence with that tolerance of uncertainty, this could be like you are one cell in the body of source. You are a source that has incarnated as your particular specific experience, perspective, and lifetime. But you are one of many. Mm. See, but from that perspective, excuse me, this almost feels like, oh, okay, I think I get it now. So this supernova would almost be like Big Bang type energy. This would be source breaking itself into an infinite number of pieces in order to experience whatever it is to experience. And then at the end of the experience, it all comes back together. All of these perspectives, all of these things that we get through our own sort of emergence, maybe it's almost like with the star nursery, there's the stars and the galaxies, star solar systems, galaxies that are formed, and then there are clusters of galaxies. And then it's like there are bigger and bigger and bigger sort of like units until it recomprises source, the all, the universe, everything. The multiverse, beyond this universe, the omniverse, all universes. Source, the one, the only. But it's also like, it's to be mindful of that, but I feel like it's also not to forget, yeah, because adventure is here. It's also not to forget to live your own life and enjoy your own life and to explore what life has to offer you. It's to not sacrifice one's own individuality, but to also at the same time, again, remember that one isn't the only being in existence, that there are many, many also experiencing their lives in reality. I feel like when I asked like what's the big idea, I didn't necessarily I didn't necessarily mean this. Because I feel like this would be the biggest idea. You know what I mean? Or one of the bigger ideas is like, yeah, we're all here to have an experience. And maybe things, because the healing is here, excuse me, maybe things are shifting towards a direction of greater and greater and greater camaraderie, greater and greater and greater coming together, more and more understanding that we only know a part or a piece of everything. And that when we share our perspectives and experiences, and when we can honor each other's perspectives and experiences, when we come together harmoniously, it's almost like that's how heaven is created on earth. Or it's almost like that's how Source is reborn into the universe that it created. When we all come together, when all the pieces come together harmoniously and work together inside of the creation. You know what I mean? It's almost like if an author writes a book and all the characters in the book are different pieces and fragments of them and people that they know, but mostly them, when you put all the characters together, you can almost see the author. And if you can track the story, you can almost see how the author developed over time as the characters develop, as some characters develop, or I don't know. We have the Guardians, shielding, defense, and warning at the bottom of the magic hole. Oracle cards, magical dimensions, oracle cards, and activators. I promise I was like this before I started drinking. My mind today is just like, I'm tired. I wasn't ready to wake up today. Bottom of the Idrisil. Oh my gosh, it's temperance. Look at that. I was like, oh, I opened the book up to this page. It's at the bottom of the deck. The Guardians, Temperance, and then the bottom of the Science Tarot is Benzine Dream, the High Priestess. Why is this high key giving me Brahma? Like all that we're living is Source's dream. Oof. Oof. I guess we got the big idea. Well, what's the smaller idea? Cool. This was fun, I guess. Why benzene though? Here's the High Priestess again. The scientist August Kekule was struggling to uncover the structure of the molecule benzene. It was the mid 1800s, and chemists were working to decipher the benzene structure into a linear model. The 6 carbon atoms of benzene acted oddly in their experiments and did not seem to conform to the known rules of chemical bonding. One night, Kekule, I don't know, dreamt of a serpent biting its own tail. He awoke knowing the solution to the puzzle. The benzene molecule takes the shape of a circle, not a line, with the first and last carbon bonded to each other. Since this insight, a myriad of molecular rings have been discovered. Their structure is integral to many chemical processes. The High Priestess is devoted to this type of mysterious and perceptive insight. Imagination and inspiration play a vital subconscious role in many discoveries. Dreams and creative work can bring surprising understanding to aid calculation and study. The play, imagination and inspiration playing a vital subconscious role to many discoveries with discovery, play and discovery in this adventure card. Also, is that not a ring? Is that not a ring? The ring was the key, and I was like, the ring on that key is huge. Benzene rings are aromatic. That means they have smells. And then the hanged man potential energy is behind with the emperor crystallization. And then the ribosome, the magician, Fermat's last theorem, the hermit, and then the 10 of cups evolving. And antimatter behind evolving. And the world. More grand unifying theory and binary star, the lovers. More majors. A bunch of majors. And then the quantum C is below the lovers and the binary star. This binary star is interesting because that's what all of the sun in Virgo during Pisces season has given me. Even in this potential energy, it's about perspective. It's the shadow cast by this rock formation that takes the appearance of the hanged man. Crystallization is about becoming. I wonder if sometimes, if there were a little bit more harmony in this tolerance of uncertainty, I almost wonder if one researcher's insight or if the other two researchers' insights would be like this benzene dream. Like it would carry a similar energy since it's so like not grounded in one's own limited perspective and one's own, like it's limitation upon limitation, right? Not only do are they going to have a limited perspective because they're one individual, but there are further limitations imposed. They also have blindfolds on, at least one. I saw that it was a briefcase. Neodymium. Oh, but me neither. Neodymium. I just love it as a word. Neodymium. I saw a video of a red suitcase becoming green, and it made me think of the hat that was like red on one half and green on the other half, and the two people arguing about the hat. And then you find out that the hat is like red on one half and green on one half, like they were both right. I almost wonder with this big idea, I almost wonder if it's almost like the creator, the all source itself is like wanting us to come into greater harmony and to heal the rifts between one another. And if we talk about it in terms of perspective, maybe it's just like we have enough experience being like against one another or thinking that only one or some of us can have whatever. It's very like survival of the fittest and competitive, and it feels like it almost like permeates so much. Because if you think about like, I feel like it's really easy to call out like a lack consciousness and a poverty mindset that fuels like financial monetary competition. But like, are we not in spiritual competition too? With ascension in the 3D versus 5D, those who get raptured, those who are going to heaven, those who are going to hell, those who are moving on, and those who stay behind. It's just like it's interesting how many arenas and spaces it permeates. And maybe it's the benzene dream that it's like why don't we give harmony a chance? Like, maybe the divine is like, I want to experience that. I want to experience being billions of different pieces more. I want to experience being an infinite number of different pieces with its own perspectives and experiences and viewpoints, but still be able to like come together. And it's almost no different than us reaching an inner peace and an inner harmony within ourselves, where we're not at war with ourselves, or we don't have this one piece that's fighting against another piece that's covering for this other piece that we're not even aware of, that's overcompensating for something besides that. And again, that's aspects of the self analysis and introspection of the Ice Queen. Because this Ice Queen is not what you would think of an Ice Queen as, I'm going to read her. I love the Ice Queen. The Ice Queen might be my favorite card in this deck. She's definitely one of my favorites, but she might be my favorite high key. Ice Queen resonates to personal power and liberation from the shadow self. This revealing ray ignites strength and fortitude, calling forth a presence from the depths of the soul to penetrate through the most difficult of challenges and trials. Fusing a bridge between the powers of nature, soul light power, and the darkness that is a part of the light itself, a new butterfly is born as it sheds its old self and steps into the newness and light of its own being. Go into a space of deep inner reflection, for it is a time of going within and is required in order to face the shadow self. Perhaps you need to retreat and do some self growth exploration. If you feel lost or confused about your situation, just go within. It takes strength and courage to reveal the truth, and sometimes the shadows attempt to hide light from you. Honor both the light and dark, but choose light. And then we have the emergence. Why emergence? Because butterfly. Butterflies emerge. I didn't talk about the butterfly, but it came to my mind, especially with emergence and the tolerance of uncertainty, because the caterpillar spends all of its life as a caterpillar, knowing that when it emerges from the cocoon, it's going to be different. Even if the caterpillar knows that it's going to be able to like fly after it emerges, it's not until the caterpillar lives that life and has that experience that it really gets to see what it's like. Emergence is also interesting because it feels like an energy that's very similar to whatever that star dragon was. There was the star dragon of resilience, but then there was the one about hope. And it felt like hope emerged from the chest of the resilient. When fluorescent light and red and incandescent light, that it makes really strong natural magnets. Fluorescence and incandescence. I feel like it's also too, because the thing about light is like we see what is rejected. We basically see what's not absorbed by the material. Blue is high in frequency, low is red and low red is low in frequency. I'm not sure about fluorescent versus incandescent lights. It looks, well, it's a magnet, natural magnets. I was going to say it sounds like it's very polarizing or extreme, because essentially red is the end of one extreme and blue is the end of the other. There's no like yellows, greens, the things in between. Neodymium? Neodymium. I don't know anything about neodymium. I could Google it, but sure, why not? Where's my phone? I don't know. I don't even know if I can say, hey, Bixby anymore. I don't even know if Bixby knows its name. Not since I got a new phone. Hey, Bixby. Oh, my phone is literally right here. Neodymium. Neody. Not magnets. Oh, Neodymium. Chemical element, atomic number 60, the fourth member of the lanthanide series, considered to be one of the rare earth metals. Hard, slightly malleable, silvery metal that quickly tarnishes in air and moisture. When oxidized, neodymium reacts quickly, producing pink, purple, blue, and yellow compounds in the +2, +3, and +4 oxidation states, generally regarded as having one of the most complex spectra of the elements. Not found naturally in metallic form or unmixed with other lanthanides, and it is usually refined for general use. Fairly common. Wait, what? Mined in China. Most of the world's commercial neodymium is mined in China. It's not surprising that you wouldn't find it as a natural metal because it oxidizes in air and moisture. We live on a planet that has a lot of both. You know, there's moisture in everything. Quickly tarnishes in air and moisture. Yeah, it's. I also wonder if by the color, um, I also wonder if by the color you can tell what oxidized state it's in. If it's +2, +3, or +4, because I'm thinking of electrons and how the light that's emitted by electron, it's like when an electron goes from a higher energy level to a low energy level, the energy that's released has a certain frequency, and we interpret that frequency as light. So if something emits a light, some things you can assume that there are electrons that are, I guess, both being excited and like it's going up and down. I don't know. I mean, I got the science. Okay, science tarot. Let's see. Let's see. That's done. That's the big idea. The big idea is, hey, why don't we try getting along? Source would love to experience harmony and compassion on a greater and greater and greater level. Like we've been the earth that's at war with itself for who knows how long. Now let's be the earth that comes together. Oof, that was immediate. Did you hear the splat? Black hole drift, John, and integration. This isn't, of course, this isn't going to help. We'll see who this guy is. Black hole drift. Like black hole and drift is interesting because it feels like it pulls in things that have um, flowed apart. Is there, I don't even know what, is that the past participle? Is past participle the tense that I'm looking for? I guess things that have flow. I want to say flown, but that's like the past participle of fly, right? Past participle of fly. Flown. Okay, so what's the past participle of flow? The past tense of flow is flowed. The present participle is flowing. The past participle of flow is flowed. That's boring. It pulls in things that have flowed apart. See, but then that just sounds like the past, the regular past. But even in the, well, I guess in drift we see it like breaking apart. And then there's this John Muir guy with integration. Queen of Cups, Ace of Cups. Why are there mitochondria outside of the cell? How many mitochondria does the cell need? Do cells usually have multiple mitochondria? I guess I would assume so. I always just thought there was one. We can see the cell intaking something or spitting it out. Let's see who this John Muir guy is. Ooh, oh gosh. John Muir spent years exploring and living in the Sierra Nevada mountains, where he correctly theorized that the region's cliffs and valleys were shaped by the formation and movement of glaciers. His books, articles, and skills of persuasion supported the preservation of wilderness areas and natural resources. He was instrumental in the establishment of Yosemite as one of the United States' first national parks. It is important to observe, embrace, and preserve the things we love and to communicate our emotions in empathic ways. John Muir was a storyteller who communicated not simply the mechanics of nature, but its value. His example reminds us that heartfelt reverence for nature and scientific study of the world around us can together enrich our feelings of spirituality and wonder. Ooh. What? I can say no. I can confidently say that no, not everyone wants to achieve the all. And I can say that so confidently because I love being an individual person. You know what I mean? I kind of love my individuality. I kind of don't like, I'm not against harmony and peace, obviously, but I also don't feel like I need to I'm like, yeah, no, not me at least, but I'm also not opposed to being an oddball. Pentaquark. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Quantum computing is supposed to be like taking off now. Maybe I know I'm a weirdo, but yeah, no. I could be the only one. I could literally be the only person on earth. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I could be. I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I would love to like be me and to be in a world and a community that is like harmonious with me, that I am also harmonious with, where we're all just like cells in a well-oiled body, just working together. I do my part as a cell in this organ, and you do your part as a cell in your organ, and together the whole body functions, and we're all happy, you know? But I mean, that's probably more talking about like filters and stuff and less about like what people want. What does this tell us about neodymium? I don't know. Who knows? Feel like a gift. Mm. It's another interesting thing, I guess, about neodymium is, and I think it may be a function of like heavy metals, some heavy metals, is that it has so many different valence states. Like you can find it in +2, +3, or +4, which means, hold up, wait, no, but carbon is electronegative. Why? I don't know. I don't know what I was about to say. Which means it can participate to a greater degree, almost through number, in any degree except for one. I don't know. I guess that is interesting to me. That it can be +2, +3, and +4, but not +1. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be if it has four. I don't know. The melting point for neodymium is very high, 1,870 Fahrenheit or 1,021 Celsius. Atomic number 60. Maybe that's why it's such a good magnet, too. I don't know. Is neodymium the strongest permanent magnet material? Flexible rubber? I don't know. I can't help you there, Matthew. I cannot help you there. Do. Isn't it interesting how websites just used to like put cookies on everybody? But now that they have to ask permission to do the cookies, we get annoyed. I get annoyed. Somebody else was talking about it. I was like, man, I don't want to. I like. Can I just set it to globally, like not do the cookies, or only do the ones that like only the functional ones? All that extra stuff. No. +2, +3, and +4 oxidation states. So if it's +2, +3, and +4, then it interacts with 6, yeah, 6, 5, and 4. No, yeah. 2 for 6, 3 for 5, 4 for 4. I don't know. I don't know. You can't find it naturally. What's at the bottom of the deck? Chemical spirits, the moon, just out there floating. It's unknowable. Sorry I couldn't help you with your thing, Matthew, but I'm sure that it'll come to you in time. Cool. Ooh. Interesting. Let's get final cards. What time is it? Bedtime. You can find it as many different colors and many different cationic states, oxidized states. Can't find it naturally. necessarily. Unless you live in a vacuum, then maybe. Where there's no air and no water. A vacuum. A black hole? Is a black hole like a vacuum? A black hole is like the most vacuum of vacuums, right? In a vacuum. Also, I guess it's interesting. Speaking of like how it appears as blue in one kind of light and red in another kind of light, it almost goes back to it almost has an energy similar to the tolerance of uncertainty. It doesn't exist. Uh, it's hard to find naturally here because of the conditions on Earth. But maybe there are meteorites that you can find it in because they're in the vacuum of space. You know what I mean? But the thing is with that, it's almost like even if it were, it's almost like you would have to go to space, get the meteorite, and then contain it, bring it back, and put it in an environment devoid of air and water. Because it's like if the meteorite were just to fall to the earth, then the neodymium would tarnish because it would be exposed to the elements here. So even if you were to like go out and get it and then bring it back, it still wouldn't. There's also something that's almost it's almost not Schrodinger's cat, but it's almost like that phenomena that's like, and it's a quantum phenomena that to observe something is for it to be changed. Right. And maybe that also plays into the light too, because like you look under you look at it under different lights, fluorescent or incandescent. But again, it's almost that like how it will tarnish under air or water. To observe it is for the thing to naturally almost like be tarnished. So maybe I could extrapolate that to be something that's like almost like a be who you are, because like everyone's going to have an opinion, everyone's going to have an opinion of you regardless, some good, some bad, some of them inflated, and it's nothing that you can control. Almost too like if there's a work of art, uh somebody was literally just talking about this. It might have been Reem, it might not have been. I feel like it was, but it might not have been. Maybe it was. There's like how no, maybe it was, maybe it was. I can't remember who was talking about it, but somebody was just talking about the reason why it was Hemi. Hemi, Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings, that's who it was, I'm pretty sure. Was talking about the reason why some artists never release, some inventors, some creators, why they never release their creation to the world. Because you can't control how the world interprets it and it interacts with it for one, and you can't control how the world will use it or what it will become because of how it's used for two. It could be a lot of things. Hmm. Excuse me. And it's almost like because neodymium is what neodymium is, and because the world is what the world is, there is no mirror for neodymium that will accurately show it what it is. Only internally, in the vacuum, in the black hole inside, where there is no outside to tarnish it, to oxidize it, to take from it. Cool. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. All right. I'm gonna put all the cards back. Gotta shuffle all the cards. Who is this? Embla, the first human woman. She was made of something tree. Okay, Idrisil. And oh no, sorry. Scotty just came out. I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. Me neither. I will never know what I will never know. There are some things that I don't know that I may come to know to some degree at some point. There are many things that I know. What is that? Into the Woods. And I know things now. Many wonderful things that I never known before. Okay. I don't know, what's the line? Like, do not put your faith in a cape and a hood. They will not protect you the way that they should. Nice is different than good. I was just thinking about rewatching Into the Woods. That's just me wanting to watch Into the Woods. Okay, Idrisil. Like, one card would be gorgeous. Ooh. That's more than one card. That's so many. I'm putting the face down cards back in the deck. Embla came back out again, though. So I watched the movie with my mom, but I literally don't remember it. But I know that I watched it with her. But I literally don't remember like any other movie. But I know that I watched it with her. Yeah, you can. Sorry. Um, I think it was on Netflix for a hot second. It the Broadway version of it. It has Bernadette Peters in it and some other people that I don't know. Stephen Sondheim, I'm pretty sure. I have the soundtrack in my iTunes. I'm a person. I have musicals in my iTunes library. That's the only musical that I have in my iTunes library. Into the Woods. And I know I saw it because my mom was like, if you're going to keep singing all the songs, I'm going to kick you out of my room. I was like, but why? I love this musical. It's one of my favorites. I would watch it all the time, like freshman, sophomore year, all the time. Ooh, we have the first. This is so interesting. We have the first human woman, and then we have spring and new beginnings. Embla and Frey. Bottom of the deck is Kvasir, the crafty mead of poetry. I'm pretty sure Kvasir was made from the spit of like all the gods. And I think Kvasir had to like do whatever they said or something like that. I don't know. Sure, let's read it. The third of the fifth round. Excuse me. Embla is the first female human created from a trunk of wood found by Odin, Vili, and Ve on a beach in Midgard. Odin gave her the breath of life, Vili animated her and gave her intelligence, and Ve speech, hearing, and sight along with outward appearance. Her name suggests that she is made from the elm tree, which is a soft wood prized by artists and wood carvers for its beautiful and unusual markings. Embla is the proto woman, and her significance in the spread is one of new life. So we have one of new life and one of new beginnings. This might be a new love, a new approach to something concerning the personal or private life, a renewed relationship with a loved one, or a new relationship with someone yet unknown to the seeker, whether it is a new significant friendship or a new lover. It could even indicate childbirth. Much depends on the placement and influence of the card and the cards around. If the first man accompanies her in the spread, it very likely indicates a new love relationship or renewed woes between two people who love each other. Renewed woes between two people who love each other? Is that supposed to be renewed vows? New love or new woes? Oof. Renewed woe. What's a renewed woe? And then we have the fourth of the third realm. Frey is the god of new beginnings and new growth. His wife is Gerther, and he is the twin brother to Freya, goddess of love. Frey is a major god in Alfheim and had a particular following in Sweden. He had a boar named Glenbursti. He had a boar drawing his chariot and a magnificent ship. I'm just going to skip the names. I can't read. I don't feel like trying anymore. Frey rules partly over the weather and sun and is called upon for favorable conditions for crops. Frey's presence in the spread signifies a new beginning, a sprout, new ventures ready to grow and prosper. Frey signals a favorable condition for new undertakings to grow. If his sister accompanies him in the spread, this quality is greatly reinforced, but with a dash of sexuality, possibly a love relationship. The twins together in spread, they're not together. So we ain't got to read all that. And he's not with his wife. Cool. His servant Skirnir also strengthens his influence in the spread, but the greatest strength for Freya in terms of new undertakings is this mother Skadi, who brings strong willpower and goal orientation. Skadi is the card that flipped over. Skadi Hunt. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And I kept shuffling. But she revealed herself. So Freya is at his greatest strength in terms of new undertakings because of the strong willpower and goal orientation brought by his mother. And then we have this first woman, Kvasir, the sixth of the eighth realm. Look, he's got pages. When the light elves of Alfheim and the gods of Asgard made peace after the great war between the two worlds, they did a ritual of mixing fluids to seal the peace. They spat in a bowl and created the creature Kvasir out of the mixed spittle. Kvasir is described as the craftiest of creatures, but his life was cut short. The dwarves Fjalar and Galar abducted Kvasir, killed him, and bled him out. They used his blood and mixed it with honey to create an ale or mead with a very special property. Anyone who drinks from it gains the power and talent of poetry. The mead was much sought after, as the command of language is considered a powerful knowledge. Kvasir's presence in the spread indicates a sacrifice for the seeker, particularly if he is placed in the world of dwarves. In general, the card of Kvasir symbolizes unity or a treaty that ends conflict, particularly if it's placed in Asgard, Alfheim, or Svartalfheim. It symbolizes the command of language and great eloquence if it is placed in Midgard. Note that the command of language and poetry is the most coveted power of gods and humans. It is considered a supernatural power. To mindfully verbalize a desire well takes the seeker a long way in seeing that desire come to pass. That's almost giving me, um, it's giving me that energy's been here before. It's the energy of like being told, like, you get one wish. And instead of it being like a gin or genie, like you can make a wish, any wish, and then you make a wish that you get $1 million, and then you are the beneficiary of however many people until you get $1 million. So you sacrifice. There's like loved ones are sacrificed to get the money, like the monkey's paw. Um, but it's a very like beneficent spirit or source angel, whoever that's granting the wish. So they almost prompt you to make sure that one, you ask for what you want, that you ask for what it is that you truly desire, and that you ask for it in a way that doesn't leave it up to intentional or intentional malinterpretation. It's that scene from the kid with the elephant, speaking about elephants, who was looking for his sister. And there was the psychic, and he was like, she was like, be careful, because you only get one wish. Make sure you word it right, and make sure you wish for what it is that you really want. It's giving me that energy, especially with like these new beginnings. But with the sacrifice of Kvasir, there's always something that's sacrificed. To go from not having to having is to sacrifice the lack, at the very least. It's to sacrifice lack of having whatever. Or to go from like, if you're manifesting a loving relationship, then you sacrifice your singledom if you're in a relationship, right? The Ten of Wands is supernova, because the Ten of Wands, sometimes it can be overburdened. Sometimes the Ten of Wands is like, it's responsibility, or it's like burdens that are worth carrying. And when a burden is worth carrying, sometimes it doesn't feel like a burden. Wait. Oh, into something different. Okay. I read that as like into something greater for a second. And I was like, is it Kraken? Like, I don't know. I mean, they say Cthulhu's been Cthulhuing for a minute. So Kraken's already taken. Maybe that's why. Who knows? Interesting. So, like, the energy of new beginning is so ripe. And then also the energy of like a treaty or a treatise. I actually like, it's kind of weird. When I took um rhetoric in high school, and we were talking about like ethos, pathos, and logos, I'm like, oh my gosh, like rhetoric actually is kind of powerful. Maybe that's why politicians are so politicky. Because like like the power of speech and of wordplay and of word crafting is just so, it's real. It's beyond. Because if you make a solid enough argument, you can convince anyone of like almost anything. Ooh, Utopia at the bottom of the deck. As we're talking about sources ready to experience grand harmony. It's like oneness in the form. Oneness where we're all one. Like pieces of the puzzle rather than like, I don't know, all being clones of the same one. Oh, look, there's Ice Queen in Utopia. See? Cool. Magical dimensions. Oracle cards and activators. Let's go. Bottom of the deck, higher perspective, the cosmos, awakening, and unity. What? Higher perspective, the cosmos, awakening, and unity. Number 21, which I think was resilience. Oh, one card came out. The throat portal, number 40. Speak your truth, courage, and suppression when out of alignment. Speak your truth and courage with this, the cosmos, awakening, and unity. Is this not? And then the heart portal is under this cosmos, awakening, and unity. Oh, look, 2021. And Gaian awakening is under the heart portal. This is, that's the elephant, right? Speak your truth and awakening. Unity. Speak your truth, unity, and awakening. Am I going to read either one of these? Nope. I think they're pretty, don't need to be read. They are pretty clear. Cool. That's the big idea. I mean, like, but that's what all these, like, worldwide day of meditation for world peace or whatever it's been for, right? Now let's take it home. Let's actually do the unifying thing. You know what I mean? Bring it home. Let's bring it home. Let's do that thing where we actually unite. And unity that is, well, that's a personal whatever. I personally believe that unity shouldn't come at the cost of silencing those who are suffering. You know what I mean? Is it true unity if that's the case? I was like, yeah, just don't say anything. Just don't. You're breaking unity by telling us that whatever is happening, you're ruining my illusion. That's what it is, really. Because a body in unity should be able to support itself. But to maintain the illusion of unity is to, in essence, be in disharmony. To silence or ignore. Cool. Catastrophe. Oof. With John Murr at the bottom of the deck. Catastrophe. The 5 of Swords. No. The 5 of Earth? 5 of Pentacles? Catastrophize. Yep, 5 of Pentacles. 3 billion years ago, Earth contained no oxygen. There you go. There you go. Years ago, the atmosphere contained no oxygen. Neodymium was the most poppin', common element on the planet because there was no oxygen to tarnish it. I'm just kidding. Microscopic green cyanobacteria were one of the first life forms to develop the ability to photosynthesize, to transform sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into sugars for energy and release oxygen as waste. The levels of oxygen in the atmosphere skyrocketed. Millions of life forms unable to survive in an oxygen-rich environment were poisoned and made extinct by the exploding populations of cyanobacteria and the oxygen pollution they created. While we may perceive this transformation as being vitally necessary for the development of life on Earth as we know it now, it was an oxygen catastrophe at the time. We experience our own cataclysmic events that both destroy what came before and make possible what will come after. In this moment are traumatic setbacks, challenges, and real suffering. Yet it is this suffering we move through that shapes the success we later achieve. So yeah, when we want something new, we have to sacrifice the stuff of old, even if it's just our singledom or boredom or, misery, even if we have to sacrifice misery. Cool. Okay. I guess I never thought about that, right? You see it as the birth of life on earth or the start of life on earth, but for anything that would tarnish in the presence of oxygen, it almost signaled an end. I guess it did signal an end. We already read John Muir at the bottom of the deck. Maybe John Muir on top of that is like appreciate what we have now and appreciate what had to transpire in order for us to be where we are now. And also, maybe there's an element of like not rushing to a speedy demise, meaning like not wanting something. It's like appreciating what we have while we have it, because when we don't have it anymore, we won't have it, right? It's almost like appreciate being single while you can be single before you're in a relationship, right? There are things to appreciate about being single. Appreciate all the things about being broke before you come into your life-changing windfall of abundance. Maybe the things that you appreciate about not having that life-changing windfall of abundance is that no one's asking you for things. You know what I mean? Because after that windfall of abundance, you may have friends, cousins, relatives, grandmas, grandpas, uncles, aunties, neighbors, classmates, best friends that you never knew you had until you had something that you could give them. And maybe that's one of the positives. Maybe another one is like you don't have to pay. Okay, it's fine. We'll not go there. It's fine. You will never eat ramen again. Oof. You know? To live that. So I hope you appreciated all those ramen nights and days. I actually had ramen last night. I've kind of been craving it, which is a little wild because I definitely, definitely, definitely had my stereotypical meme, but also real life ramen noodle college days, university days. You could have ramen noodle days and not be in college or university. There were some ramen noodle days before school. I'm actually, so my whole life, up until recently, I've been about the beef flavor of ramen noodles. There was something about chicken that I did not like, and it wasn't until 2018, I think, that I figured out what it is. Because I went to my dad's house, um, and I don't like celery. Celery to me is like vinegar, in that it like the smallest amount of celery dominates a flavor profile to me. All my palate can pick up is celery, and I don't like celery. And I was telling my dad, basically my stepmom, that I don't like celery, and she was like, "Oh, well, like you can't even taste the celery." All I could taste was celery. And then after that, I ate a pack of the chicken flavor, and I was like, "That's what I don't like. It's celery." And then I looked at the ingredients, and it had like celery seed seasoning or something like that in it. And I was like, I knew it. People thought I was making it up. People thought I was lying when I said it doesn't matter how much celery you put in it, that's all I taste. And that's why I didn't like chicken ramen, because it tasted like celery. Now I hate it less. But I still go for beef. Because beef don't have that celery in it. It don't. So anyway, that's my story about chicken ramen. The neodymium, not the mass extinction. Yeah, yeah. I know. I had a feeling. But for anyone else who's watching, thank you for clarifying. Imagine all of let me stop. Let me stop. Like, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I wonder if like Mother Nature, if Earth is like, there's gonna be harmony on this planet one way or another. Also with the black hole, now I'm getting nature abhors a vacuum. Nature abhorring a vacuum is like life. And life's desire to fill all spaces. It makes me think of, was that Embla? No, it was air. It was air. Air was the one that gave life power or something like that. So that's the big idea. The big idea was the healing, is the grand harmonizing. I don't remember what she was. She was the sixth in the fourth realm. She is merciful, and around her, the force of life gains strength. The force of life gains strength around air, which is why there was the new beginning so strong and so powerfully of Freyr and Embla, the first woman, even at the sacrifice of Kvasir, or the sacrifice of Kvasir. I actually don't mind cilantro because I don't. Lime is another thing that I struggled with for a while. I trained myself to tolerate lime for reasons that are beneath human understanding. um, but lime was another one that really, I don't know, there's something about lime. And my friend was like, what about lime? Like, it used to taste like pine sol to me. Like, lime tasted how pine sol smells. And I was like, whenever I have lime or whenever lime is in something, it makes me feel like I'm eating or drinking like a cleaning product, and I don't like it. And he was like, "What about cilantro? A lot of people have something about cilantro." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind cilantro." So a little celery goes all the way. A modicum of celery will go all the way. It will go beyond all the way. A modicum of celery will go too far. It'll be too much. But yeah, anyway, that's me and food, I guess. So I hope thou all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and where you find. I hope that in the throes of life, you can find and hold on to the bigger picture. And I hope that the context of knowing what the bigger picture is gives you enough comfort and encourages you enough to continue to be that brave, courageous, amazing part, piece, and parcel of source energy that you are, I guess. Thanks, Holly and Zelda and Matthew, for being here tonight. 2 hours of X. Sorry for, well, you lost an hour and a half of Xbox time. I'm probably going to get maybe the same PlayStation time. I should probably just go to bed. Honestly.